Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this one we are going to be discussing Thrift Books, the company that is I don't know if they're necessarily responsible for book thrifting, but I know they do play a big part in it and are a very common piece. I tried them out for the first time this week and I'm going to tell you guys a bit about it and where they are. While I am doing that, I am going to be working on a couple of different sewing projects and yeah. Alright, and with that, let's get started and move in. Okay, I have seen and ripped the two bags. I am kind of hoping that on their own, each one will be enough. However, after measuring for this, I did kind of find out that my head is in fact large and it wasn't just something people told me. So I don't know, they may end up having to go together, which honestly, I wouldn't be too upset about. But I'm going to cut out the pattern and place it on there and then we will see. Back to me hopefully doing a good job telling you about thrift books. Cool. Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking into thrift books while I attempt to make a bucket hat, though spoiler alert, I do think that I'm cursed with those things because whenever I crochet them they never turn out right. And this first round didn't go that great, but I have clips now, so hopefully round 2 will prove to be a little bit better. Anyway, so Thrift Books, if you don't know, is an online thrift store that specializes in books, cassette tapes, movies, audio, and just a little bit of everything that you can get at a discounted price. Originally they started in 2004 out of a pickup truck and selling from a warehouse with Amazon. Now eventually they did move off of Amazon and onto their own site, but they do join back up with them later on. Now it was founded by Daryl Butcher and Jason Meyer. The first book that they sold was Charlotte's Web, but along with that, they had also created a specialized software that would sort and organize books that became the base model for their efficient automation system that they currently use to run their site. And the efficient automation system is kind of just like, it's like AI and human together. So essentially the computer will go through and sort the books on good, better, best, but there's also human input, and so that is kind of how the books go through their rating system and get sent to us. Now, being sent to us, they have 5 distribution centers, and they're kind of a little bit of everywhere. They have distribution centers in Phoenix, Chicago, Atlanta, Dallas, and Baltimore. However, I will say that with those places, it doesn't necessarily mean that the one closest to you will be where your books come from. I ordered mine and it was from all the way in Arizona, but I definitely had one closer to me. So just keep that in mind if you are looking for one kind of in a rush. Hi. So I've ended up having to hand sew it because I'm roughly new to sewing, and sewing in a circle is hard, but it is fitting better, or at least, well, almost. Anyway, currently in the process of resewing it, so hopefully when I get done, it'll look much better, because right now it looks really questionable. But yeah, that is where I am now, and then afterwards I'm going to add the brim. So, eventually, after getting off of Amazon, they did go back and stay just for the convenience, but they are one of the few independent bookstore sellers that you can find online. However, they aren't the only ones, with their competitors being Better World Books, Pango Books, and Shortbox. I haven't heard of the other ones, but let me know if you guys want to see a dive on them as well. Now, they do also have an eco-friendly version, well, not eco-friendly version, but an eco-friendly way of doing things, where they get unsorted books from the library along with having some of their books come from secondhand stores like Goodwill, the Salvation Army, and other places like that. They do also share some of their profits with the libraries that they get things from, although I am not sure about how much of that goes to them. Right, as of 2023, an article stated that they saved about 8.5 million trees and reduced global CO2 by an estimated 307 million, 75 million pounds in the last 5 years. I'm not sure how much that's changed in more recent years, but that is what I could find. That is kind of it. They're a very small business and they run kind of tight knit, but it does seem to be pretty worth it. They also have a rewards program called Reading Rewards, and it kind of goes with their eco-friendly model where if you are getting the more rougher, more used books, then you earn more points versus if you were to get like the newest books or the newer books. Speaking of, how do they come? My books came pretty well. The books I have are older, though I do know that you can get more recent and modern books on there. But the two that I got were, I picked a like new condition and pretty good condition, one in hardback and one in soft. And aside from like a really deep crease along the back of one of them, they came pretty well, pretty nice. But that is all I have to say about thrift books. This was a pretty short one, but I did just want to come back in and post a video for this week. And that is all. We will check in for the last time. Yep. Okay. Hi. Editing me. I did finish both of the hats. There isn't really a whole lot of film on them because I like filming me doing crafts, but it is very easy for me to forget. But anyway, I'm going to show you both of them real quick, and then we're going to get back to the outro. The first one I did turned out kind of wonky. I didn't have pins at the time, so it kind of fits like this, which is still nice and comfy, but it makes me feel like I'm doing a cosplay, even though it does fit like pretty well. The second one, I did manage to finally get some pins, which I didn't have before, and it did make sewing a lot easier. It looks a lot better. However, when I showed someone and they said that it's giving a mystery lady in the second act with a clue. So I like both. However, if I pull this one all the way down, I can't see anymore, but they do both fit pretty well. However, I'm not worried that this one is gonna like fly away in the wind or something. So yeah, that is what I have. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Back to the video with me doing crafts, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.